Welcome to Coastal Compass, allegedly a podcast. Tonight, we have Cindy from Blue Room Photography.
Hello.
Hey, welcome to the show.
Thank you for asking me. This is really a nice honor and nice treat.
Cool.
You have a great setup here.
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Thank you. We're slowly but surely improving it. Every
New lights, she said.
new lights tonight.
And I'm
yes.
really interested in all of your equipment. Yeah.
Oh yeah, but so where are you from originally?
Dothan, Alabama, peanut capital of the world.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. All right, so
Grew up, born and raised there. Went to Dothan High School at the time. That was all there was. We had, our two junior high schools that all melded into one in Dothan High School, and we all went off to college or didn't. And I went off to University of Alabama, and then bounced back home briefly. Worked for the TV station there. I've always been around this kind of stuff. Most all of my jobs have been related to this.
okay.
And then I bounced up to New York. The owner of that TV station, who ended up being my future father-in-law, but owned it, and he had a interest in some business up in New York. It was the business side of sales and all. And then I went to New York, and it was like Mad Men. I was one of those girls out front.
Yeah.
And the guy was in the glass box behind me. I mean, it was for real, and I'd never seen that before because I'm from Dothan, Alabama.
Right.
And I was one of those girls up front for several months, and then ran out of money and bounced back home. But I did have a New York experience. No, no. I think it was $12,000 a year in New York.
Oh, wow.
But my rent was only $300 a month, $250 or $300 a month, which is unheard of. It was a little studio apartment. But anyway, that was fun. And then moved home, met the owner's son. Didn't get married right away, but I moved to Tuscaloosa, back to Tuscaloosa.
Okay.
He was in law school. We got married, and then moved to D.C.
Wow. Okay.
And he was in politics, and we did all that. And then I started having children, and then I started I want to go back home where it's warm, and people
Right.
talk like I do, and I have nice manners and all those things. And so we moved back to Alabama, but I did not want to move to Dothan. I wanted to move closer to the water. And Dothan's pretty close to the water. It's an hour and 15 minutes to the beach.
Yeah.
But I wanted to be here. And so he got a job in Mobile as an attorney, and we moved here.
Okay.
And then moved across the bay in 88. And,
Things looked a lot different back then.
oh, yeah. The 4-lane turned into 2-lane.
Yeah.
And Alabama is how I got into the photography end of it. I got into communications. Alabama at the time started a brand new college called New College.
Okay.
And it was, freshman year, you had to do all your prerequisites. But then after that, you could write your own, with certain prerequisites that you promised you would do. You could make your own degree. And I had a long name to it. It was something about communications with an interest in broadcast journalism and something, magazine, blah, blah. Anyway, it was nice and easy. And it just cracked my head open. We had a dark room there. I just, had ideas. I think it was put together and taught by two dudes from New England.
Okay.
I'd never heard of solar power. I'd never heard of all the things that are like that. I'm from Dothan, Alabama.
Right.
I mean, I didn't know about anything. So I was a country girl, kind of, sort of. And anyway, so there was a dark room there, and I got to where I would just go I wouldn't eat dinner. I would just go and float paper in the dark room. It was just magic to me.
Now,
And
is that a hard thing to learn?
I mean, we see it. I'm acting like I'm young, but
Yeah,
I mean,
No.
I've watched it.
No, you just send it from your phone to Walmart, and they print the damn thing.
There you
out.
go.
Yeah. See,
Done.
we had a dark room in the high school.
We did too. And I mean, we did all black and white. I mean,
Yeah, it was all black and white.
Yeah, so that's what we did too.
We
in high
didn't do
school.
color. If you had to do color, you had to do Ritz camera. Remember Ritz camera? It was here,
Oh.
and then or send it off. Hope that you got it back.
Yeah.
No, my dad. But people would bring in we lived in a small town. People would bring in their rolls of film to be sent off to. They'd pick them up every day and
Now,
deliver
y'all
every
had
day.
a pharmacy, right?
Yeah, we did.
Your dad had a pharmacy.
So
and they'd
you
drop
had
it
the-
off at the pharmacy.
okay.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's right.
Had a job with the Episcopal Diocese of the Central Gulf Coast. I was their communications person, and I followed the bishop around everywhere he went and all those different churches and the things that we did, and had to learn how to shoot in dark places and
Yeah.
candles and that kind of thing. And then that was about the time that digital came around, where the consumers were using the digital. It was like 2005, 2006, something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was still shooting film. And I remember realizing, all right, I've got to get with it. I was taking a photograph of some kids after Sunday school or something somewhere, and they rushed me. They wanted to see the picture on
Yes.
the back. And I was like, what are y'all doing? And I went, okay, I've got to switch. So I did. I went to a little bitty, is it Power Shot or something by Canon?
Yeah.
Little
By
bitty one?
Canon
They
or by
advertised
Nikon?
Andre Agassi.
It was a
advertised it.
Canon.
It was a Canon.
It was a
Power
Canon.
Shot.
It's like, is it Power Shot?
Power
It's a little
Shot.
silver thing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And I kept breaking it because I was just overusing it to death. And so Canon said, look, you need to upgrade. So I upgraded to a Canon, a Rebel.
Yep,
I went
yep,
the Rebel
yep.
like you have.
Mhm.
And then from there, got my first full format camera. I decided to go pro. Well, let me back up. My job got shaky around 2008, 2009 during the recession.
Mhm.
And I thought, what can I do? South Alabama offers a certificate in certificate in digital photography. They have a darkroom there too. So I did that. It was a 3-year program. I knocked it down. I doubled up, did it in about 15 months.
No, that's
So-
impressive.
Well,
Yeah,
it
right.
gave me
No, that's
it gave
nice.
me confidence to, okay, I'm going to be a professional photographer, and I still don't think that I am,
No, but you're going. You said
but people
earlier,
pay me.
you just got back from the professional.
I do.
Photographers
I mean, I do all the
Association.
things. I do all the things, but that just takes you when you go someplace like the PPA conference, it's Professional Photographers of America conference. You go up there and you're like, oh, y'all are really good. You know,
Yeah.
Right, you
Yeah.
do see that.
you kind
but-
of see where you are. It's a good measure because I can see how far I've come, but it's always, you never learn it all.
No, there's
Oh,
no
yeah.
way. And with technology and as it changes every single day with these cameras,
I know. I feel like a
It's-
hamster.
it's amazing.
But the goal, the fact that y'all are both striving to just continue, that's the main thing.
You got to learn every day, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's the whole thing. It's a constant learning.
I'm doing webinars all the time, and
Yeah.
I'm interested though. I truly am interested in this. When I know I'm going to be, things are going to be over when I'm like, I don't want to watch this anymore. But I really do love to learn more and more and more. And I feel a lot more relevant, I think, than maybe some of my friends. I feel more relevant to some of the 30 and 40-year-olds that I know than I do people my own age sometimes. So,
Well, it's okay.
There you
So, what are the main things that you're looking at doing, or if you could give us the top 3 things that you did, because your list on their website,
I know.
is
It's a lot.
extensive.
well,
Right.
that's a result, and you and I spoke earlier about
Yeah.
this. In a small market like we are, I believe that really you've got to know pretty much what you're doing, at least 60 to 70%, and then push it through and post edit. But it's really about relationships because primarily it's a business.
Yep.
You've got to get clients. You've got to have somebody in front of you to photograph. And the way you do that, you do chamber events. You pass out your card at lunch. You're trying to talk up what you do. And, you market, you network.
Yeah.
And I'll have to say, and this is a great push for Casey's chamber, every time I do a chamber event,
That's how we met you.
That's it.
I meet somebody or somebody says, oh, do you have a card? Because my grandkids are coming into town and I want to get a picture of them on the beach. People have
yeah.
all kinds of needs. And so I can't say, well, I don't do that. I don't do kids or I don't do this. I'm like, sure. Then I go do a quick webinar.
Yeah.
No, but I do easily, I can easily do special events, weddings, family and portraits. And also it's a subgroup of that are headshots because special events and weddings are on the weekends.
Right.
Monday through Friday during the day, I could get business people and I do headshots. And I also do a lot for the chamber events. I'll do that free headshots. And
That's
Okay,
smart.
but you also talked about business products.
yeah. The other thing that I do, and it's usually during the week, I do headshots for them. Then I look at their website and I'm like, do y'all need some new product shots? Because you need some new product.
Yeah.
Right,
That's
And then, well, yeah, how much is it? And it's not that bad, but pretty much I put together some combination packages where you can do the headshots, the products, the scenes, your employees in action, the front of the building. So you get all the parts of what you do. And if someone arrives, they look at their phone, okay, well, this is the right place. And you go in and you know what you're getting. And if they're, so some of them are busier than others. I'll put a plug in here for Lazy Boy Gulf Coast. I do a lot of photography for them. I've got three stores, Mobile, Spanish Fort, Pensacola, and in each store they have 2 designers that will come to your house,
Yep.
measure at no cost and put together a design for you. And you can take or leave anything they suggest that you purchase, but they have a wonderful way of presenting it. But my job with them is I take photographs of the designers and the rooms that they've done, the vignettes they put together in the store. And that's all still photography. And they use those. And they can reuse them over and over and go back and pull from last year's and put them on social media. So that's the other thing I do. And that's kind of my Monday through Friday. It's a pretty much of a 7-day-a-week job if you want to do all the things. And I really enjoy it. I really, really do enjoy it. And the greatest thing is getting to know all the people and seeing all the things that they do. And the camera's like a ticket to the world. It gets me in all kinds of places. And I didn't know half the stuff existed until I had a camera.
You've got the camera. You can go anywhere you want with it. You're the cool kid in town. Where are the cool places to hang out?
Well, I will say this. The other thing that I love more than anything is to eat out. I love to eat out. My husband and I, now the children are gone, and they were kind of foodies themselves. They've all gotten all tooty-tooty. They've gone to the big cities. And although they're super impressed when they come home, like, oh, it's not like it was when we were here. They're in their 30s and 40s.
Right.
And they come home and they love, and I'll list them out, Time on Section. They love Dragonfly. Of course, we've got the tavern up in Daphne, so we're just going to hang out up there while they get moved, and then we'll go check them out down there. We're very good friends. I mean, I know these people's kids and all the people that serve there. I love Dragonfly. I love Drew.
Awesome.
I love Doug and Bree. Pearl, we've loved Pearl.
Pearl's incredible.
Now they're open on Thursday, Friday, Saturday for lunch.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very nice to know. That's
I'm
good.
going to have to check that out.
Yeah, same menu.
Oh,
And they do have an extra shorter menu for lunch.
Yeah.
Love Pearl, but we love to eat out. Kitchen on Main. La Bichon.
I love Kitchen on Main.
is
That's
awesome.
one of my favorites.
Le Bouchon is really good.
La Bichon is there. And I tell you,
I've never been there.
It's quaint. It's kind of
really
dark
great.
if you want your privacy.
Okay, La Bichon, actually in Olde Towne Daphne, you can have kind of a nice little progressive evening down there between Mancy's and before we had the other two restaurants. We hope they'll reopen. But Kitchen on Main, Mancy's, and if you do cigars and bourbon, you can go to there.
You got Buster's Brick Oven.
Buster's Brick Oven, and you've got Dragonfly, and then La Bichon, which is a little further down.
Okay.
North.
It's in like a small shopping center. It's an older shopping center though. Like
Yeah,
you wouldn't even know it was a shop.
It
You would
looks
just think it
kind
was
of
like
Austrian. You know, it has the
Yeah.
Well, they are downstairs, and David Garrett and Tanya Garrett own it, and David built the bar in there, and it's a beautiful bar, nice long bar. He has more room than Amy does.
super sweet people.
Very great.
Amy and I went there. The first time was like 2 years ago.
Okay.
We're there maybe 5 minutes. We had just ordered our drinks and we were about to order an appetizer. And the owner, what'd you say her name was?
Tanya.
I'm sorry, Tanya. She gets a phone call about one of her dogs, and it's an emergency. And so we're like, "Hey, we'll get here's cash. We'll go. We'll leave." She goes, "No, you're staying." We're like, "What?" She goes, "I'm just going to lock y'all in. My bartender will be here in 5 minutes."
Right.
That's Tanya.
We're the only two people in this whole place. We could
And she
have
didn't
literally
know
drank or ate anything. She doesn't even know us that well. But she's always a sweetheart. Her and her
they're
husband are just
great.
fantastic people.
But what they do have now, it's a little special secret. It won't be after I tell you this, but
Right. And people will know
all 10
now.
people that watch this.
but this
know
is a
now.
secret. Monday nights, there's a good friend. She's my kid's age, Caitlin Horn, and she's the main chef at Kitchen on Main. And Kitchen on Main owners are kin to Tanya. They're all the sisters and sister-in-laws. But Caitlin is the chef at Kitchen on Main Tuesday through Saturday night. But Monday nights, she does her own menu at La Bichon.
Wow.
Good to
You
know.
come in.
All right, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
So we're here.
It's
every
a
other Monday
5-course thing. You don't have to do it all.
Yeah.
But we may go there tonight if it's not too late.
Well, their food alone is good, regardless of what day it is.
Yeah.
They do a Kaneka pita bread pizza.
Mm-hmm.
They do the charcuterie boards, and their jalapeno pimento cheese dip is homemade. It's
There
to
you
die
go.
for.
Well, I'm going to have to throw this out here. I know it's not Fairhope, downtown Fairhope, or downtown Daphne and on Eastern Shore, but out 64 on the other side of 181, there's some new things going on.
Yep.
And there's a great pizza place called Y Pizza. And this is so Baldwin County. The owner and the main pizza guy there that does the pizza is also the fire chief for Bell Forest.
Oh,
And he's in
right.
there with his like, blah, 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 blah. He's got that little thing on him. He's
Yeah,
doing
right.
the pizza and he's talking to the fire plane. It's just like, is that not Alabama or what?
Oh, it is. It is.
But it's great pizza. And
why
they had just
pizza?
a couple of coffee shops out there. Oh, and then Pressing Co.
Yep.
Pressing Co. Yeah,
And then you have the cellar door.
Where's it? What's
that's
that?
on 64.
Yeah, so the
Oh, yeah,
liquor
yeah.
store
That's right there.
Well, they've turned it into a bar.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
Yeah, I
haven't
took
been in it
photos
yet,
there.
But
I did photos of that. And that's another thing I'll put a plug in here for Social Magazine. I do a lot of shoots for them.
okay,
And most recently, that was one that I did.
that's good to know. We need an in on that one.
I've got you in.
There you go.
I've got you
Perfect.
in.
Yeah, we need
She'd love
that.
to come and talk about that.
We would need. Yeah, we
Please.
need,
Yeah,
we need to bring
Melinda.
her on.
I've been
She's
trying to
awesome,
find
and she's a
somebody for
great conversationalist.
Beautiful.
months. What I was going to ask is there a publication that you've been featured in, or is there a highlight picture that you've taken or video that you've done that you're like the most proud of?
Well, actually, yeah, there is one that was really, really interesting. In 2019, right before COVID, I shot a wedding for this precious girl and her husband. They were just precious. It was a Grand Hotel. And I knew their parents. Again, it's all about relationships,
Sure.
right?
Oh,
And so
yeah.
they wouldn't do for anybody to shoot the wedding with me. And I was so honored by it. And they bought the big package, and it was just great. But he was dying of a brain tumor. He had very limited period of time left. And she said, I think he'll last, if he'll still be around for the wedding. We just don't know how much longer after that. So we just, blew right on through it, just like everything was normal. And when it came to the father-daughter dance, he wasn't anywhere around. I thought, and apparently he didn't feel good, and he left. And so we did our flexible thing. Like, okay, well, now let's do this. Then let's go ahead and cut the cake. And you have to kind of mix things up when things like this happen.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And then all of a sudden he showed up in his wheelchair, and his wife was pushing him in, and they pushed him out into the dance floor. Everybody backed up, and they had practiced a dance with her, the bride, pushing him around on the wheelchair to "I Hope You Dance."
Okay.
That song.
Yeah.
It's a lovely
And she was
song.
a ballet teacher, and she would push him, and then she would do a ballet move and then turn him around. And it was a beautiful thing. And I posted it on my Facebook page. And that was it. And I used to shoot for the Press Register for a little while. Whenever they had too many events at the same night, they would call a lot of us for stringers and do things like proms and things like that. And I had a good friend, Michelle Irvin, I'd become friends with through that. And she messaged me and said, I want to put this on AL.com. Do you mind? I said, no, it's fine. Let me make sure it's okay with the bride.
Right.
That was all fine.
Yeah.
And we did it. But then that song had a copyright with it, right?
Yep.
It
Oh, yeah.
turns out that the guy that wrote it is married to a girl from Bay Minette whose children took ballet dancing from this bride.
Oh, no way.
And so he's like, use it. It's fine. You've
What are
got
the
my
chances?
permission. I know.
Connect the dots, man. That's amazing.
Oh, but it gets better. That it blew up, and then within 2 days it had 35,000 views. Then it got into the millions. Then I got a call from the Ellen Show, Ellen DeGeneres.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Some guy. He said, "Hey, we want to feature your video, and we want to fly your bride and groom and her mom out here to interview her. But we want to first set up. We want to Zoom call them to make sure." That was not even Zoom call. It was like whatever you called it before then.
Yeah.
They passed with flying colors. I think they just wanted me being from Alabama. They want to make sure they all had teeth. I guess I don't know, but they did a great job. They're both such a good-looking couple and so well-spoken, and it was great. And they went out there, and they were on Ellen DeGeneres' show, and they had spent their savings to get up to move and come down and buy a townhouse to be near her dad in his last days. And Ellen's show gave them $35,000 check.
Oh,
Wow, that's great.
I mean, that story is just, I'm just,
Because of a video.
Yeah. That's incredible.
That's amazing.
and I still about once a month, I'll get somebody will have come across and say, this was wonderful. He died 10 days after the wedding.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
But
it
at
was
least he
just
got to that moment before.
Yeah. Oh, and it was, he cries during the dance. And it's just really, it's on my Facebook page. It's really, really great.
We'll have to put
there's
the link
that.
down below.
The only other thing is I do a lot of photography for Social Magazine, Social Eastern Shore. And just today, a lady called me. She says, do you remember me? And I said, I know your name. You've got to give me one more little clue. And The Guardian
Yeah.
has picked up a story and they're featuring her, and they wanted one of the headshots that I had done for her.
Okay.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'll get a little credit with that. And there are little things like that every once in a while I'll be driving along and I'll like see some real estate person on the billboard. It's
You're
kind
like,
of
"I
fun
did
to
that."
see.
That's
It's kind of
nice.
fun to
That's
see.
nice.
Always only shooting raw because I never know when people are going to come back and need it for something.
Right.
Used to,
right.
I would kind of jump ahead and say, I'm just going to do small JPEGs. It's just a party. Then they'd say, Mom died and we want to make a great big poster of her photograph that you did at that party. I'm like, oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
low pixel and I cropped it wrong and, all this stuff. So I'd really try to keep that in mind that it could be used for anything.
It's not a bad. That's actually great advice for
Anybody.
aspiring
Right.
photographers.
That's
Or
absolutely true.
anything.
So how do people get in touch with you? What's the
Okay.
easiest way?
bluewingphotography.com or at cindy@bluewingphotography.com and my phone number.
Yeah, and you're on you're
Everywhere.
On the
I've got
internet,
Instagram. I've got the works, all of that. Well, I have another little tangent if you don't mind.
No, not at all. Let's do it.
Definitely, for sure.
I was a photographer. I'd been a photographer for a long time, but I never thought about making money. And in my generation, there were no female photographers. I thought at the beginning it was just all about photography and, posing and makeup and the free-flowing this and the lighting. And it is. But now I look back and it's only about 15 or 20% of it. The rest it's a business first. You've got to have people in front of you in order that will pay you to do this, and you've got to market and do all of that. And then also, too, I've discovered, because I find myself really in that middle tier, I'm not awful, but I'm not like some of the people that I come across at PPA. I'm like, oh, dude, you're so good. That in our market, especially, people don't really, they will think, well, a photograph, I think it's only so, they will love it. They'll like,
Right.
love this picture. I'm like, okay. But they remember the experience. And I think, it's like a good song.
Mm-hmm.
You love a song because you remember that girlfriend or that boyfriend or, that was at college or whatever. You love that song.
Absolutely.
Because
I
you're
don't know.
associated.
I don't know what you're talking about. I never think about anybody else but my wife when the music plays.
But my mom's a huge photography nut. She has a whole room in her house of albums starting in 1966
Oh,
and all the way up to today. And like we had my granddaughter's 2-year-old birthday, we shot 400 some odd pictures. We got it down to 200 and some odd.
good.
Oh my
200?
And then
That's good.
that's not bad, right? And so she prints them all, and she's going to put them in. And she sent a little thing that says, you never know how much a picture means until somebody's gone.
Oh, yeah. My daughter called me. I took some pictures of an engagement party that she had when she and her now husband were getting married. And one of his best friends was in this thing. Anyway, he died 5 months later, some disease, and that was unexpected. And she called me from the funeral home where they had the service. She says, Mom, your picture of him greeted everybody when we walked in.
Yeah.
And yet, thank God I'd shot it in RAW.
That's right. That's one of the things I think that people miss out on, because when my dad passed away, I had my camera, right? Because you're going to go there. That's your family reunion for us.
Yeah.
And we shot so many pictures that day that people really appreciate. I know it was a sad time and I miss my dad, but still, what an opportunity to have those pictures for people later on down the road.
It feels weird to say that, can I shoot your funeral?
Yeah, no, it does.
But it's a milestone, like weddings and births.
And not very many people, you're not going to have that
Think
many
about it.
people around all together, even though if they love each other or hate each other, it doesn't matter. They usually show up at the funeral.
They show up for the funeral, and you've got cousins that haven't seen each other in
That's
years.
right.
True.
That they're seeing nieces and nephews they've never seen. And I've shot 3 or 4 of those. I have to really think about it. I don't ask just strangers about it, but a couple of the churches know that I do that. And if it's the right family, they'll mention it. The only other thing I want to throw in here before we finish is to print your pictures. It's great having your phone and all that, but to have a print, and also a lot of times there are too many prints and it's too expensive. So get an album. When you said album, that reminded me that I wanted to say something about that. But you can put 60 to 80 photographs in a 20 or 30 page album. I do want to mention too, we like Tamara's during football season for brunch.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
the brunch is great there.
Yeah, just switching back to other things. I'm afraid I'm going to leave somebody out because I know all these people and I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I hope I haven't left anybody out.
Time for the magic question.
All right, here it is. Got a magic wand. You can change anything about living down here. What's
Here it is, Cindy. Let's see what you got.
What
you got?
there are a couple of things I really can't say, but
Oh no, let's go ahead and be
I'm not-
controversial.
No, I can't. It'll hurt my business, I promise. But
She's nobody's fool, man.
no,
Right.
I've made that mistake before. I wish that restaurants would stay open later than 8:30 or 9 o'clock. But if they could, go when I travel, we go to the bigger cities. My kids live in big cities. You can go out at 10:15 or 10:30, and the
Right.
place is still hopping, and you can get the full menu. Maybe after 11, they have a midnight menu, but they're still there. And I do wish we had a handful that would do that. And
Exactly.
also, being able to walk around downtown and Fairhope.
Right.
Have, what do you call it?
Entertainment district?
Entertainment district.
Mhm.
Yes.
No, don't get us started on that.
Yeah.
I
If
mean,
you've seen some of our videos, you know where we stand on it.
Thank you for coming on.
thank you. I enjoyed it very much.
Absolutely.
I love what y'all are doing.
Oh, awesome.
Thank you.
so
Thank you. And
much.
come back anytime. Thank y'all so
Oh.
much for watching. Coastal Compass, allegedly a podcast. Go to Cindy's website, blueroomphotography.com,
Yeah.
and reach out to her. Thank you so much for coming
I
on.
enjoyed it.
We'll see y'all next time.